Hey man, say man, it's the Hustle Not Hope Network, and today we're here to bring you Agenda T, otherwise known as, you know what, man? I'm not gonna make it do this shit. Hey, y'all need to fix these lights or something. This shit right here, I ain't gonna make it do this shit, bro. Y'all figure this shit out. Look, hey man, say man, it's the Hustle Not Hope Network. It's your boy, Jay Pedigree. Today, I'm here to talk to you about Agenda T, also known as America's identity crisis. So today's identity crisis has a lot to do with the lack of a strong identity. Males who are considering transgenderism. What is the root of this issue? A man who feels as if he's a failure. A man who does not identify as a man. Why does he not identify as a man? Is it because he didn't have an example as a man? Is it because he was born feeling more feminine? Does he have more estrogen than testosterone? Do we want to actually get down to the root cause of it? Or is it something that we would rather avoid? A woman who feels like she's not a woman. A failure of a woman. When you don't identify as what you are, what do we call this? Is it a dysmorphia? Are you estranged? Are you in your right state of mind? I think transgenderism today is actually more of a cop-out. It's a participation reward. Most people don't understand, it's okay not to be content with where you are currently in life. No one is going to win every time that they make an attempt. And most of the champions that we look up to today have had, if not more tragedies than triumphs, at least a minimum of tragedies that from time to time, they felt like they were not going to be able to overcome. It's when we stop, we give up on ourselves, we adopt this mindset that I am not good enough. This is not what I was made to be. And society gives us a cop-out to do just that, to quit. Once you quit, you throw your hat in with what everyone else is doing. Personally, I don't see a difference between a woman who is anorexic or bulimic and transgender. Because when that person looks in the mirror, they don't see themselves. They see a failure. They see someone who is not up to standards. They see someone who they don't like. That person can be everything that they need to be, but it's not what they see, it's how they feel when they see this individual. Now, there's a lot of things that we refuse to talk about, or rather, there's a lot of conversations that nowadays we don't have. And men, or manhood is a state of mind. It's the way that you operate on a daily basis. It's the things that you endure. It's how you incorporate your healthy regimens and your unhealthy regimens. No man is perfect. No man will ever be perfect. Whoever feels that they are most times is the most imperfect. But that's okay. We all have our flaws. We all have our mistakes. But with men, in today's society, they never learn to harness their temper. They never learn that as a man, it's your responsibility to control your emotions and not let your emotions control you. I think today we have a wool that's being pulled over our eyes. And when I think about the ways that America has been on a decline and we haven't seen any men step up to help change, to help maneuver us back to a civilized way of thinking, I think that was the plan to begin with. I think that we as men are under attack. So I believe it's up to men to start holding men accountable. I think it's up to women to start to look at the fact of the matter that your own past trauma may be blinding you to what a woman really is and what she was always meant to be. You know, we may not have the perfect examples in our own families. We may not have the correct examples in social media today. So you got to ask yourself sometimes, you got to look a little deeper. You got to look within your own heart and ask yourself if you're being true to who you are. If you're being true to what you believe a good man will want. Are we capable of that introspect to see that we have really been derailed towards anything that's positive, towards anything that's of good nature? Now, I think a big problem, I think where this whole problem began is when there was an ideology that taking men out of the house was going to be a good thing. It's never been a good idea. We've been 50 years deep into a tragedy that's getting worse and worse. Our women are becoming more and more masculine. Our men are becoming more and more feminine. This shit is off balance, man. You know, like a off balance pH. Don't nobody want this shit. This shit ain't where it's at. This shit ain't cool. So I'm asking y'all, I'm asking the viewers, what do you think we need to do today? How do you think we need to go about changing this? Let's see what this shit is.
Self-trans is wearing woman face no different than I would wear blackface trying to be a black person.
I understand. And
It's assuming an identity that isn't yours.
on that specific example, I think it's the intention behind it.
The intention is completely irrelevant. It's the action that we must judge, correct?
Well,
So if somebody robs a bank because they're poor, they should still go to jail regardless if they're poor or rich. If somebody appropriates a woman's identity, they could say, well, I just wanted to be happy, or I just wanted to win the NCAA championship because I wasn't able to compete against men. We should call them a cheater. So their intent, he said, not she. He said on ESPN this weekend, I just wanted to be happy. Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of happy cheaters out there. That's why we have standards.
I feel like you're giving a lot more malicious intent to these individuals.
But it's irrelevant. They're doing something evil. It doesn't matter if they think they're doing good. Every evil force in the history of the world thinks they're doing good. Who calls himself trans is wearing woman face no different than.
So today, in today's society, and this is the thing, he may have been harsh with his delivery or whatnot, but when you're passionate about certain things, that's going to come out. And you know, I have women friends who are no longer women, who have made the transition. And you know, if I'm being honest with you, when I think about it, you know, when they were going through it, like, it was actually kind of hurtful to me, you know, especially being Black women and women of color, to see that this woman had given up on what it means to be a woman. You know, there's a lot of significance that comes into being a woman. You are a bearer of life. You know, like there's no other creature that can bear life besides a woman, a female. You know, that is your, I don't want to say your God-given duty, but that's not something that God created man to do. God created man to protect you. God did not create woman to protect man. God did not create man to bear life. It's in the Bible. Whether you you're religious man or not, And even in religion, we have the bar mitzvah where, Jewish people, they celebrate a young man going into, a young boy going into manhood. And manhood is a state of mind. It's not an age thing. You can be 50 years old and still be a boy. You can be 17, you can be grown. It's all in how you conduct yourself. It's all in how you go about life. And as we just saw in this video, it's not something that people should continuously promote, because what's the difference? What's the difference in a woman who is bulimic or anorexic? Does she not believe that there is something wrong with her body? Is that not considered a disorder? Does she not have some kind of mental disorder? So she needs help. She needs to find out why it is and what it is that has her feeling this way. Because I think more than anything, it's the way that we feel that's affecting the way that we think. And if we don't get to a solution as to why we feel this way and why we don't identify as what we truly are, that's a great way to make sure that we have no existence. That's a great way to make sure we have no future. Because if men aren't men and women aren't women and there is no balance and everybody is just becoming a number, there's no distinction. And little boys, when they go to Target, they don't have a section that's blue in action figures. If there's no distinction between girls, and a transgender man can walk into a girl's bathroom where a 4 or 5-year-old is, and that's not an issue with anybody. Like, there's no kind of policy against that. Like, do we not immediately see that there's something terribly wrong with where we are and how we think and what we are accepting? We have to stop accepting certain things because if everybody's doing it, that doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. I hate to bring in Sodom and Gomorrah, but when you got word to leave, because God was going to turn everybody here into salt, and God spoke to his people and said, leave this place. And the people who were there, and they had the people come and tell them, like, hey, this is not how you're supposed to be living your life, and there's about to be something terrible that happens, and they're not listening to anybody who's telling these things because they're more concerned with trying to fuck the guy that's in front of them and end up getting fucked in the long run. You have to be able to see when wrong is being done. And right here, right now, there is a lot of wrong being done. And I personally, I can't agree with this shit. If you need to crucify me, in Jesus' name, amen, do what you got to do. But I can't continue to sit back and allow our nation to fall when this is how you destroy men. This is how you destroy the foundation of everything that we've been building since World War II. And no one's hip to the idea. We're at the state where the wool has been pulled over our eyes and we're just dancing around like some damn fools. It's time for men to be men again. You don't need anybody to tell you. You don't need the acceptance of anybody to do the right thing. If you know you got to take the garbage out, if the garbage man runs tomorrow, you take it out the night prior. You know what needs to be done. You do it as a man. You don't need someone to guide you in things that you can plainly see yourself need to be addressed and corrected. As a woman, you may think that this independent ideal is something that's cool and, your parents did it, your grandparents did it, your grandma did it, whatever. These women are not happy being independent. That's not how a woman's supposed to live. You know, it's great to have your own career, be successful, be able to move when you want to move or whatnot. But when you're at home by yourself every night, and the only thing that you have to hold you tight is a bottle of wine over and over and over and over again, and you put this face on in the morning so you can be so strong and be this tough guy, you know, where you should be being soft. You were made to be a delicate flower. You always have been a delicate flower. You always will be a delicate flower. You just gotta realize that you gotta treat yourself in that same fashion. You're only gonna be treated in a way that you show others how to treat you. And what we're doing right here, right now, is not where it's at. So we need to take a step back. We need to look at ourselves. We need to be more combative towards what's really going on. Because at the end of the day, it's not in my benefit, your benefit, his, her benefit, them, they benefit. It's not in the benefit of anybody. This is not life. This is not procreation, baby. It really is a mental illness. It really is a disorder. It really is some emotional distraught at a deep, deep level. And we may not want to address it, but we're definitely due to do that. This has been a Hustle and Hope Network production. I'd like for you guys to like, share, subscribe. This is part 1. Part 2 will be coming sometime soon. It's your boy Jay Pedigree. Peace.